están mis talones. Las taxas que me quitan, pues aquí dice toda la información.
Are there many Americans who do the work you're doing?
No, solo nosotros, pues solo nosotros.
Solo ustedes,
Solo.
indocumentados, undocumented immigrants who are doing the work you're doing. Do your bosses know that you're undocumented?
Sí, sí, ellos saben.
Y a ellos no les importa, they don't care.
A ellos no les importa.
No les importa.
Ellos necesitan de uno.
She told stories about what it was like early in their marriage and how they had this goal of raising this farm and these crops and producing beef cattle and raising their family there, reminding me, she said, that this is not an occupation, this is a lifestyle when you farm. She said that goal has changed so much now, just in these past years. She said, our hope right now is to break even. Finally, Lisa ended by shrugging her shoulders and saying, well, no one ever said this was going to be easy.
What is this area like?
It's a small town that cares about each other, the community, the greater area.
What's it like to be a farmer these days?
I'm seeing people struggling, but it's not like they can just go out and get another job. This is their lifestyle. I think some people are not quite aware of how bad it is right now. So today, Ted is coming. He is the only one in the United States that is a mental health worker for the ag industry.
Farming is an incredibly stressful occupation. Why do people farm? Is it just because they're crazy, or are there other reasons?
How worried are you about farmers this particular year?
Very, very worried. Dairy in particular is really bad. We lost 10% of all dairies in Minnesota last year. It's predicted that they're going to lose another 10% this year.
Do you ever deal with undocumented workers? Do people like that come to help?
Yep, I have. When I talk to farmers that hire them, they honestly believe that they couldn't farm without them, that they would lose their farm without them.
So we're in a town called Worthington, Minnesota. It's a small town in the southwest corner of the state, and we're on our way to St. Mary's Catholic Church, which is essentially kind of a sanctuary church for many Latino immigrants here in this community. There's the church right over here.
Worthington is a community of about 13,000 people. Within the community of 13,000 people, the largest community would be the Latino community. One of the things I think it's important to remember too, that the majority of our people living here within the community are undocumented.
You've made St. Mary's a sanctuary church.
It was a week after the election of President Trump. You could feel the fear within the community.
And that hasn't changed?
No. We have mental health issues. People are suffering from depression. We have a rise in alcoholism, drug addiction, abuse, and domestic violence. And it's all as a result of what's taking place within our country.
There's some people out there who probably think that a lot of these undocumented migrants are getting a free ride here.
They're not getting a free ride. I talked with one farmer who told me he'd rather have a group of immigrants because you know that when you're going to hire them, they're going to do their job.
So this is Worthington, downtown Worthington here. This is one of those Latin grocery stores right in here next to this Mexican restaurant. I spoke to the owner of that one yesterday. They told me that they got here almost 30 years ago. So all these signs are pretty fascinating. These are postings for ranches and farms in the area looking for workers. It's all in Spanish. This sign says that they need people to work with chickens. What do you say to those people who say, you know what, all these undocumented immigrants in places like Worthington, they need to round them up and get them out of here? What would that do to a place like Worthington?
If all the immigrants were to leave tomorrow, this town would die.
What percentage of these farms and these agricultural businesses around here, what percentage of undocumented workforce do they depend on?
I would say probably 90%.
That's an astounding number.
It is.
We're on our way to meet with a dairy farmer here in the state of Minnesota. And it's interesting, we're not really sure what it is we're gonna get, but he's agreed to meet with us, and he's grappling with just how much he wants to share about the realities and how the farming and ranching industry really works. We're here, let's see what happens. Morning, Pat.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm good. We have a dairy farm here with 800 cows, about 15 employees. And I've been in the business for 40 years. If you had asked me when I first started farming that this is where I would be, I would have said, you're crazy.
The topic is hard to talk about, right?
Yes, it is. It's hard for any dairy farmer or farmer in general to talk about it in the United States. When we say that we're in dire need of more people to help us do the work, and we talk about them being immigrants, not a lot of people want to hear that. If we don't have the workers to produce the food here in the United States, the food is going to be produced somewhere else.
The reality is much of this workforce on these farms is made up of undocumented immigrants.
You can go and Google this. It's not a secret that 50 to 70% of farm workers in the United States are undocumented. There just aren't the people out there that are willing to come and do the farm work.
I know this is a delicate question, and it puts you in a tough spot. Do you know how many undocumented immigrants you have working for you right now?
So here's what I'll say. We do the best that we can here on our dairy to make sure that we're legal and in compliance. In general, the visa system doesn't work. We have what's called an H-2A visa, which is a visa for temporary farm work. So it works for the fruit and vegetable sector of agriculture, but it doesn't work for the year-round part of agriculture. So for dairy, which is a 7-day-a-week, 365-day-a-year job, to bring a person in on an H-2A visa, it doesn't work.
Coming up, signs of hostility in rural Minnesota.
So if a couple migrant workers go in there to have a beer, what would happen?
It's not good.
How they live in north central and western Iowa.
No hay que ocultarnos de nada porque no hemos hecho nada malo.
And who they work for in New Jersey and New York.
I'm really scared when he ran for president because I know him.